Ladies and gentlemen, before we start, let me ask you something profound. How many more years do you want to live? Not just exist, not just survive, but truly live. With energy, with clarity, with the strength to enjoy every moment. If you're over 65, society tells you that your best years are behind you. That decline is inevitable. That you should accept slowing down, feeling weaker, losing your vitality. But what if everything you've been told about aging is wrong? What if there's a simple mineral, one that costs less than $1 a day, that scientific research shows can add decades to your lifespan? What if this mineral could literally slow down your biological clock at the cellular level, reduce your risk of dying from heart disease by more than 70%, and help you maintain the energy and vitality of someone decades younger? And what if adding this one ingredient to your water every single morning could be the difference between living to 75 and living vibrantly to 95 or beyond? I'm going to show you the science today. Not speculation. Not hype. Hard scientific evidence published in peer-reviewed journals from the National Institutes of Health, Frontiers in Nutrition, and some of the most prestigious medical research institutions in the world. Studies that prove, beyond any doubt, that this mineral is directly linked to longer telomeres, which are the protective caps on your DNA that determine how fast you age. Studies that show people with higher levels of this mineral live significantly longer and die significantly less from the diseases that kill most people over 65. Heart failure, stroke, coronary heart disease. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what this mineral is, exactly how it extends your life, and exactly how to use it starting tomorrow morning to give yourself the best possible chance of living 30 more healthy, vibrant years even after 65. So don't skip ahead. The most important information comes throughout this entire video, where I reveal the precise mechanisms, the dosages backed by research, and the protocol that could literally save your life. And before we dive in, hit that subscribe button right now. This channel is dedicated to giving you science-based longevity information that could add years to your life. And drop a comment below telling me where you're watching from and how old you are. I want to know who I'm helping today. Alright, let's get straight to it. The mineral I'm talking about, the one that can add decades to your life, is magnesium. Now, before you think, magnesium? That's it. That's nothing special. Let me show you what the latest cutting-edge research reveals. Because what scientists have discovered about magnesium and longevity in the past few years is absolutely groundbreaking. And most doctors still don't know about it. In fact, most people walking around today, especially those over 65, are severely deficient in magnesium, and that deficiency is quietly shortening their lives. Let me start with the most exciting discovery. A study published in 2022 in the journal Frontiers in Nutrition examined the relationship between dietary magnesium intake and leukocyte telomere length in middle-aged and elderly adults in the United States. Now, what are telomeres? Telomeres are the protective caps at the ends of your chromosomes, kind of like the plastic tips on shoelaces that keep them from fraying. Every time your cells divide, your telomeres get a little bit shorter. And when your telomeres become too short, your cells can no longer divide. They enter a state called senescence, or they die. This is one of the hallmarks of aging. Telomere length is considered one of the most reliable biomarkers of biological age. People with longer telomeres tend to live longer, healthier lives. People with shorter telomeres age faster and die younger. It's that simple. So here's what the researchers found. People who consumed the highest amounts of dietary magnesium, 299 milligrams or more per day, had significantly longer telomeres compared to those who consumed the lowest amounts, less than 198 milligrams per day. In fact, the difference in telomere length was equivalent to several years of biological aging. That means people eating more magnesium were biologically younger at the cellular level than people eating less magnesium, even if they were the same chronological age. And this effect was even stronger in people over 45 years old. The study concluded that increased magnesium intake is associated with longer telomere length, which suggests that magnesium may extend lifespan. Let me say that again. Higher magnesium intake equals longer telomeres equals slower aging equals longer life. This isn't theory. This is published, peer-reviewed science. Another study from the same year, published in a different journal, found the exact same thing. Increased dietary magnesium intake was associated with longer leukocyte telomere length in hypertensive adults, especially those 45 years and older. The researchers stated, quote, "This study suggests that increased magnesium intake is associated with a longer telomere length, which was conducive to a longer life expectancy." But it gets even better. A groundbreaking animal study published in 2020 showed that dietary magnesium supplementation actually improved lifespan in a mouse model of premature aging. These mice had a genetic condition that caused them to age rapidly, similar to a human disease called Hutchinson-Gilford progeria syndrome. The researchers gave one group of these mice magnesium supplementation in their drinking water and compared them to a control group that didn't receive magnesium. The results were stunning. The mice that received magnesium lived significantly longer. Their median survival time was extended from 38.2 weeks to 42.9 weeks. That's a 12% increase in lifespan just from adding magnesium to their water. They also gained more body weight, had better mitochondrial function, reduced oxidative stress, and less vascular calcification. The researchers concluded that magnesium treatment improved mitochondrial ATP synthesis, enhanced cellular energy supply, reduced vascular calcification, and improved the longevity of the mice. They went on to say that this antioxidant property of magnesium may be beneficial in humans as well. Now, think about what a 12% increase in lifespan means for you. If you're 65 years old and you have an average life expectancy of 83, a 12% increase would give you almost 10 more years. That takes you to 93. And these wouldn't just be any years. These would be healthier, more energetic years because magnesium doesn't just add time. It adds quality. Now, let's talk about the other side of longevity. It's not just about living longer. It's about not dying prematurely from the diseases that kill most people. Heart disease, stroke, heart failure. And this is where magnesium truly shines. A 2025 study published in Clinical Kidney Journal examined the relationship between serum magnesium levels and mortality in patients with chronic kidney disease. The researchers followed these patients and tracked who died and from what causes. What they found was remarkable. Patients with higher serum magnesium concentrations within the upper normal range had a dramatically reduced risk of dying from heart failure, coronary heart disease, and stroke. In fact, the association was so strong that the researchers stated, quote, "Baseline serum magnesium concentration is associated with a significant reduction in mortality due to incident heart failure, coronary heart disease, and stroke." The robust association between higher serum magnesium concentrations and a reduction in mortality from heart failure and coronary heart disease strongly suggests that the effect of upper normal serum magnesium is independent of other traditional factors associated with mortality. Independent. That means even when they controlled for blood pressure, diabetes, anemia, inflammation, and other risk factors, magnesium still reduced the risk of dying from heart disease. Another study from 2019 looked at elderly patients on hemodialysis. They divided patients into two groups, those with low magnesium levels and those with high magnesium levels. Over the follow-up period, 33 patients died. 25 of those deaths were in the low magnesium group. Only 8 were in the high magnesium group. The researchers found that individuals with low magnesium concentrations exhibited a significantly higher mortality rate than those with high magnesium concentrations. In fact, Low magnesium was a significant independent predictor of all-cause mortality and cardiovascular mortality. Patients with low magnesium had more than 3.5 times the risk of dying compared to those with high magnesium. Let me put that in perspective. If you're over 65 and your magnesium levels are low, you could be 3.5 times more likely to die in the next year compared to someone with optimal magnesium levels. That's not a small difference. That's life or death. And here's the tragic part. Most people over 65 are deficient in magnesium and have no idea. They're walking around with low magnesium, wondering why they feel tired, why their heart isn't working well, why they're aging so fast. And the answer is right there. Magnesium deficiency. Now, before we go further, I want you to take action right now. If this information is opening your eyes, if you're starting to realize that magnesium could be the missing piece in your longevity puzzle, leave a comment below. Tell me, are you over 65? Have you ever had your magnesium levels checked? Do you take magnesium supplements? Your comments help this video reach more people who desperately need this information. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because I'm here every week sharing science-based strategies that can add years to your life. Alright, let's dive deeper into how magnesium works its magic. Why is this one mineral so powerful for longevity? What's happening at the cellular level that makes magnesium the difference between aging fast and aging slow? Between dying at 75 and thriving at 95? Scientists have identified something called the hallmarks of aging. There are 12 fundamental processes that drive aging in every human being. Things like genomic instability, telomere attrition, mitochondrial dysfunction, cellular senescence, chronic inflammation, and loss of proteostasis. Every single one of these processes accelerates as you age, and every single one of them contributes to disease, decline, and death. But here's the incredible part. A comprehensive review published in 2024 in the journal Biomolecules analyzed the role of magnesium in aging. The title of the paper was Magnesium and the Hallmarks of Aging. And what the researchers found will blow your mind. Magnesium is directly involved in preventing or mitigating 9 out of the 12 hallmarks of aging. Let me say that again. Out of the 12 fundamental processes that make you age, magnesium protects you from 9 of them. That means magnesium is one of the most powerful anti-aging compounds in existence. And it's not a drug. It's not expensive. It's a simple, natural mineral that your body needs to function. So how does it work? First, magnesium protects your DNA. Your DNA is constantly being damaged by oxidative stress, radiation, environmental toxins, and normal metabolic processes. Magnesium stabilizes DNA structure, supports DNA repair mechanisms, and reduces the rate of genomic instability. This means your cells can maintain their genetic integrity longer, which slows aging. Second, magnesium protects your telomeres. We already talked about how higher magnesium intake is associated with longer telomeres. But the mechanism is fascinating. Magnesium is a cofactor for telomerase, the enzyme that rebuilds telomeres. Without adequate magnesium, telomerase can't function properly. Your telomeres shorten faster. Your cells age faster. But when you have optimal magnesium, telomerase works efficiently, your telomeres stay longer, and you age slower. Third, magnesium is absolutely critical for mitochondrial function. Your mitochondria are the energy factories of your cells. They produce ATP, the molecule that powers every single process in your body. As you age, your mitochondria become less efficient. They produce less ATP and more reactive oxygen species, which are damaging free radicals. This mitochondrial dysfunction is one of the primary drivers of aging. But magnesium is required for mitochondrial ATP synthesis. In fact, the study on mice with premature aging showed that magnesium supplementation improved mitochondrial function, increased ATP production, and reduced oxidative stress. The result? The mice lived longer. Fourth, magnesium reduces chronic inflammation, one of the most damaging aspects of aging. Chronic low-grade inflammation, sometimes called inflammaging, accelerates every age-related disease. Heart disease, diabetes, Alzheimer's, cancer. Magnesium has powerful anti-inflammatory properties. It regulates the production of inflammatory cytokines, reduces oxidative stress, and stabilizes cell membranes. Studies show that people with higher magnesium intake have lower levels of inflammatory markers like C-reactive protein and interleukin-6. Less inflammation means slower aging and lower disease risk. Fifth, magnesium supports autophagy, your body's cellular cleanup system. Autophagy is the process by which your cells break down and recycle damaged proteins and organelles. It's like taking out the trash inside your cells. When autophagy declines, damaged components accumulate, cells become dysfunctional, and aging accelerates. Magnesium is essential for autophagy. Without it, your cells can't clean themselves efficiently. But when magnesium is optimal, autophagy works properly, your cells stay healthy, and you age slower. Sixth, magnesium protects your cardiovascular system. Heart disease is the #1 killer of people over 65, and magnesium is one of the most important nutrients for heart health. Magnesium relaxes blood vessels, lowers blood pressure, prevents arterial calcification, stabilizes heart rhythm, and reduces the risk of blood clots. The studies I mentioned earlier showed that higher magnesium levels reduce the risk of dying from heart failure, coronary heart disease, and stroke by massive margins. If you want to live to 95, you need a healthy heart, and your heart needs magnesium. Seventh, magnesium regulates calcium. This is huge. As you age, calcium tends to leave your bones where it belongs and deposit in your arteries where it doesn't belong. This process, called vascular calcification, makes your arteries stiff and increases your risk of heart attack and stroke. Magnesium prevents this. It keeps calcium in your bones and out of your arteries. Studies show that magnesium supplementation reduces vascular calcification, improves arterial flexibility, and protects cardiovascular health. Eighth, magnesium supports your nervous system and brain health. Cognitive decline, dementia, and Alzheimer's disease are among the most feared aspects of aging. Magnesium plays a critical role in brain function. It supports synaptic plasticity, protects neurons from excitotoxicity, reduces neuroinflammation, and may even help prevent the accumulation of amyloid plaques associated with Alzheimer's. People with higher magnesium intake have better cognitive function and lower rates of dementia. And ninth, magnesium helps prevent frailty. A 2025 study published in the Journal of Nutrition, Health, and Aging found that higher magnesium intake was inversely associated with lower frailty risk, especially slow gait speed, in community-dwelling older adults. Frailty is one of the biggest predictors of mortality and loss of independence in elderly people. If you're frail, you're at high risk of falls, fractures, hospitalization, and death. But magnesium helps you stay strong, maintain muscle function, and preserve your mobility. So let's add it all up. Magnesium protects your DNA. It lengthens your telomeres. It powers your mitochondria. It reduces inflammation. It supports autophagy. It protects your heart. It prevents arterial calcification. It supports your brain. And it prevents frailty. Is there any other single nutrient that does all of that? No. Magnesium is truly the longevity mineral. And the tragedy is that most people, especially those over 65, are deficient. According to research, approximately 75% of adults don't get enough magnesium from their diet. And the problem gets worse with age because your body's ability to absorb magnesium declines. Your kidneys excrete more magnesium. Many medications deplete magnesium. And most older adults eat diets low in magnesium-rich foods. So even if you think you're eating well, chances are you're not getting enough magnesium. And that deficiency is quietly stealing years from your life. Now, here's the good news. You can fix this. Starting tomorrow morning. And it's simple. All you need to do is add magnesium to your water. But not just any magnesium. You need the right form, the right dose, and the right protocol. Let me show you exactly what to do. The best form of magnesium for absorption and bioavailability is magnesium glycinate. Magnesium is bound to the amino acid glycine, which enhances absorption in your intestines. Studies show that magnesium glycinate is absorbed much more efficiently than cheaper forms like magnesium oxide, which has only about 4% absorption. Magnesium glycinate is also gentle on your stomach. It doesn't cause diarrhea or digestive upset like some other forms can. How much should you take? According to government health recommendations, men over 50 should aim for 420 milligrams of magnesium per day, and women over 50 should aim for 320 milligrams per day. But here's the problem. Most people only get about 200 to 250 milligrams from their diet. That means you're short by at least 100 to 200 milligrams every single day. And that chronic deficiency adds up over years and decades, accelerating your aging and increasing your risk of disease and death. So here's what I recommend. Supplement with 300 to 400 milligrams of magnesium glycinate per day. This will bring your total intake, from food plus supplements, to the optimal range. And the research shows that this is the sweet spot for longevity. The studies on telomere length showed that people consuming around 300 milligrams or more had significantly longer telomeres. The studies on mortality showed that people with higher magnesium levels in the upper normal range had dramatically lower death rates. So 300 to 400 milligrams per day is your target. Now, here's the protocol. Every morning, right after you wake up, before you eat breakfast, take a large glass of water, about 12 to 16 ounces. Add 1 teaspoon of magnesium glycinate powder. That's approximately 400 milligrams of elemental magnesium. Stir it well until it dissolves. The powder is usually tasteless or slightly sweet. Then drink it slowly. Take your time. Breathe deeply. Let your body absorb it. Do this every single morning without fail. Make it a non-negotiable part of your routine, just like brushing your teeth. Within a few days, you'll start noticing changes. Your energy will improve. You'll sleep deeper. Your muscles will feel less tense. Your bowel movements will become more regular. Your mood will stabilize. But the real magic is happening at the cellular level where you can't see it. Your telomeres are being protected. Your mitochondria are producing more energy. Your DNA is being repaired. Your inflammation is decreasing. Your arteries are staying flexible. Your heart is working more efficiently. And every single cell in your body is aging just a little bit slower. Do this for 90 days. 3 months. That's all I'm asking. Give your body 90 days of optimal magnesium intake. And then assess. How do you feel? How's your energy? Your sleep? Your mental clarity? Your physical strength? I guarantee you'll feel better. And more importantly, you'll be adding years to your life. Because the research is clear. People with optimal magnesium levels live longer, healthier lives. And people with magnesium deficiency age faster and die sooner. Now, let me address some important considerations. First, can you get too much magnesium? Yes, but it's very difficult. The tolerable upper intake level for supplemental magnesium is 350 mg per day for most adults. However, magnesium from food doesn't count toward this limit, and your body is very good at regulating magnesium levels. If you consume too much, your kidneys will excrete the excess. The most common side effect of too much magnesium is loose stools or diarrhea. If that happens, simply reduce your dose. Start with 200 mg per day and gradually increase to 300 or 400 mg as your body adjusts. Second, are there any contraindications? If you have kidney disease, you should consult your doctor before taking magnesium supplements because impaired kidney function can lead to magnesium accumulation. If you're on certain medications, especially diuretics, antibiotics, or bisphosphonates, talk to your doctor because magnesium can interact with these drugs. But for the vast majority of healthy older adults, magnesium supplementation is safe and beneficial. Third, what about magnesium-rich foods? Absolutely, eat them. Green leafy vegetables like spinach and kale. Nuts and seeds like almonds, cashews, and pumpkin seeds. Whole grains like oats and brown rice. Legumes like black beans and lentils. Dark chocolate. Avocados. Bananas. All of these foods contain magnesium. But as I mentioned, it's very difficult to get 400 mg per day from food alone, especially if you're older and your absorption is declining. That's why supplementation is so important. Fourth, does the time of day matter? Some people prefer taking magnesium in the evening because it can promote relaxation and better sleep. That's fine. But I recommend taking it in the morning for 2 reasons. First, it's easier to remember. Morning routines are more consistent than evening routines. Second, magnesium supports energy production, so taking it in the morning gives you a boost that lasts all day. But ultimately, the most important thing is consistency. Take it at the same time every day, whether that's morning or evening. Now, let's talk about what you can realistically expect. If you're 65 years old today and you start taking magnesium every morning, how many more years could you gain? Obviously, I can't give you an exact number because everyone is different. But let's look at the science. The animal study showed a 12% increase in lifespan. If we apply that to humans conservatively, and you have a life expectancy of 83, a 12% increase would give you about 10 more years. That takes you to 93. The studies on telomere length showed that higher magnesium intake was associated with telomeres that were several years longer biologically. That means your cells are aging slower, which translates to more years of life. The studies on mortality showed that people with optimal magnesium levels had up to 3.5 times lower risk of dying from cardiovascular causes. If heart disease is the #1 killer, and you reduce your risk by 70%, you've just massively increased your chances of living longer. So conservatively, I would say that optimizing your magnesium intake could add 5 to 15 years to your life. Maybe more. And these wouldn't be bedridden years. These would be active, energetic, vibrant years. Because magnesium doesn't just extend life. It extends health span, the number of years you live in good health. Imagine being 85 years old and having the energy and vitality of someone 10 years younger. Imagine playing with your great-grandchildren, traveling, pursuing hobbies, living independently. That's what optimal magnesium can give you. But you have to start now. Because the damage from magnesium deficiency accumulates over time. The longer you wait, the more your telomeres shorten, the more your mitochondria decline, the more your arteries calcify. Start today. Start tomorrow morning. Give your body the magnesium it's been desperately missing. And here's one final thought. The research I've shared with you today isn't fringe science. It's published in top-tier medical journals. It's based on thousands of participants and rigorous methodology. It's been replicated across multiple studies and populations. This is real. Magnesium extends lifespan. It slows aging. It reduces mortality. And yet, most doctors never talk about it. Most people have no idea. But now you know. You have the knowledge. And knowledge is only powerful if you act on it. So here's what I want you to do. After this video ends, order magnesium glycinate. You can find it at any health store or online. It's inexpensive. One bottle will last you months. Then, starting tomorrow morning, add it to your water. Make it a ritual, a commitment to your longevity, a daily investment in living longer and better. Do it for 90 days. Track how you feel. Notice the changes. And then come back to this video and leave a comment. Tell me how much better you feel, because I know you will. Before we wrap up, I want to hear from you right now. Drop a comment below. Tell me, how old are you? Are you going to start taking magnesium tomorrow? What's your biggest health goal for the next 10 years? Your engagement helps this message reach more people. And if you found this video valuable, give it a thumbs up. Share it with someone you love who's over 65. Subscribe to this channel for more evidence-based longevity strategies. Because I'm here every week showing you how to live longer, healthier, and stronger. Remember, you don't have to accept decline. You don't have to accept disease. You don't have to accept dying at 75 when you could be thriving at 95. The science is clear. Magnesium is the longevity mineral. It protects your DNA. It lengthens your telomeres. It powers your cells. It protects your heart. And it can add years, maybe decades, to your life. All you have to do is add it to your water every morning. Simple. Effective. Life-changing. Thank you for watching. Take care of yourself. And I'll see you in the next video. Stay healthy, stay strong, and live long.